Hi guys, this is the winner again. Today I'm with my good friend Arnab. So Arnab has recently published a book on the 18th of April, and this book has been in the making of the last 8 years. We will talk a little bit more about that later stage, but as always, I'll start with our main topic, which is about mental health. So Arnab, I'm going to get straight into it. So, when it comes to mental health, tell me, do you have any thoughts? What it means to you?
Well, mental health is for me, if I have to put it in one sentence, is anything, any emotions or any sentiment that is left unprocessed. It contributes. That is when the entire, I would say, the spectrum of mental health actually comes to the fore. Now, mental health is a topic which is, at best, I would say, stigmatized in the society. A lot of people, when we are ill or when we are sick with some ailments, we are very open to go to a doctor and, take some medicines, at best do a surgery or something, come back. But people tend to forget that mental health is also a type of, I would say, is also a type that needs someone specialized to look after.
Sure.
It's not something that is out of the ordinary. Now let me, because I'm a poet myself, I've published a few books. The recent one being I Was Never Alone, as you mentioned, on 18th of February. Now let me try to draw some parallelism between what mental health is and what poetry is. Okay, one of the, I would say, the legends of romantic poetry was William Wordsworth. Right? And William Wordsworth said that somebody asked William Wordsworth, "What do you think? And what do you define as romanticism is?" Now, he was one of those, I would say, proponents of romantic poetry, romanticism. He led that romanticism movement. He said anything out of the ordinary, whether it is on the good spectrum or the bad spectrum, is romanticism. I would say that, taking care of mental health, people tend to, the society, in superficial terms, would say that mental health is something out of the ordinary. But if I have to draw a parallelism, something out of the ordinary is romanticism. So you, in terms of mental health, you romanticize with yourself. You romanticize with the creator. And if that is left unchecked, then the romanticism goes too far. Right? What I'm trying to mean here is, it is nothing to be shunned and it is nothing to be stigmatized, and there needs to be a lot of awareness around mental health. And actually, where in the words of Arnab Neogi, the great Nobel laureate, the Indian poet, where it's very simple. Where there is a will, there is always a way.
Right.
And a healthy body always precludes a healthy mind. So if you have a healthy mind, you obviously go into that spectrum where you have a healthy body.
So Arnab, tell me about a time where you basically had to prioritize your mental health. Is there something you can share with me?
So there was a time, and there were multiple times, I wouldn't say, there were multiple times throughout my life when I had to prioritize mental health over my physical well-being and even over my family as well. One was a time, long time back now, 24 years ago, when I lost my sister. I lost my sister to nerve cancer, and I was just like and 10 or 11-year-old guy that time. I couldn't know exactly what was happening. I knew that, okay, an 11-year-old guy seeing his sister passing away knows what exactly that means. But then the depth perception, the breadth perception, the length perception was not there. I was only, I would say, I was only accustomed to the time that, okay, this is 28th of February 1998, was the day when my sister passed away. That was the day, and this was something that is bad happening to our family. That was the time perception I had. The depth perception was not, what implications will I have? There is nobody who would call me brother after that, So, and, my parents, and although, I sound like this was my real sister from the same parents, she was my cousin, but we grew up actually as part of the one common same family. So, although she was a cousin, she was very much close to me. So, that was a time there was a lot of emotions that was, I would say, bombarded to me at the same time from all different directions. So I had to process them one by one.
Okay.
I prioritized my mental health there, and I didn't I didn't do certain things, which normal kids at 11, 12 years do, in terms of playing and, I was fond of cricket and table tennis. I took a step back from table tennis and cricket for a while. I became more indoorsy type of a person, not an outdoorsy person. But what I did right that time, and I would really thank my parents for that, was they introduced me to this whole concept of reading and writing. Okay, so every child is born with a reading skill. I can tell you because I'm a new parent right now. Every child is born with a reading skill, but the writing skill takes time. There are a lot of things that needs to be coordinated, in our, I would say, ecological development. A lot of things that need to be coordinated from mastering writing or even into the writing skills. I started reading a lot that time. Okay, that is how I tried to process my emotions.
Okay.
So I just came upon this beautiful composition by Thomas Gray. He said that a graveyard is not a sign of death. A graveyard is actually a sign of life. How is that possible? Because if you lift the coffin up, right, you will see green grass growing beneath the coffin. So graveyard is the prime example of life present when there's a societal definition of death. So I was intrigued by that poem. And In a Country Churchyard was written by Thomas Gray as an eulogy to the death of his cat, right? So I would think that, okay, this guy lost his cat and he came up with a composition which redefined the annals of English literature. Why not I come up with some words which will redefine my way of life, right? So I got more attracted to this whole legacy thing, which is very very addictive. I thought that, okay, I would write something people will read and people will remember, try to replicate my message into their message. So that's when I started writing. And then when I went on writing, my reading stopped. And I would probably get a vent, I would say, to put words into my grief. Sorry, to put words into what I was feeling that time, not necessarily grief. Okay, there was fear, there was grief, there was despair, a lot of emotions. It would be unwise to say that it was only grief. So that writing continued, and then when I finally found some, I would say, some temporary answers to what I was going through that time. I wouldn't say till now I haven't found those answers yet, but I found, I would say, temporary answers to that. Then I took writing to another level. So whatever I was thinking at that time, I tried to put it down. So if I went on a vacation with my parents, and I felt, Ooty in India, Ooty is fantastic. It's a heaven on earth. Okay, and I wrote an entire poem, on my trip to Ooty. I watched a movie and I came to know a lot about King Ashoka, who was one of the greatest kings ever born on so I was intrigued by the resilience the man showed, right? And I wrote an entire epic on King Ashoka. That's not published yet, but yeah. Anyway, so I started to put more and more words. I started to enjoy, I would say, the intermingling of different words and how those words sound and how those words are totally aligned and totally, I would say, common to what I was feeling. For example, if I'm feeling very elated, right, I could say I'm feeling joyous, I could say I'm feeling humored, I could say I'm feeling very good about me, better, so many adjectives. So I started liking all of them. So in short, just to cut the long story short, writing and reading helped me process things that I didn't get a word, I didn't get a chance to process that. So this is what I would also suggest to to people who are trying to find a way out. I wouldn't say struggling with mental health, because that's a very negative connotation. I would say that people who are really trying to understand what's happening to them, take some time out, take a step back, and reflect, and try to put some words into those reflections.
Arnab, listening to you, I felt 11-year-old going through a tragedy like that, and then managed to obviously have a process in place to then overcome the mental health you mentioned, and you take on the whole new journey of reading and writing. I think it showed that one way or another your parents had a part to play in it. It seems to be obviously you have not stopped, and that seems to continue, and you have taken that passion to the next level. I guess we all of us need some sort of passion, take that time out, and then go again, have a break to ourselves. So look, Arnab, I really appreciate for you sharing this with us, and I hope may continue that more books to come. I will share the Arnab's books link in the comments. Hope to see you guys soon. Take care.